We are talking today about how to have an awesome workout when you're short on time and you only have 30 minutes or so to train, because we've all been there where perhaps you like to train first thing in the morning. Sometimes you maybe sleep in a little bit longer than you had anticipated. Maybe it's a case of you need to be in the office a little bit earlier than normal, so everything's a little bit rushed. Or if you're training in the afternoon or in the evening, maybe there's a social event that's come on. Maybe you've got to run a few errands and things like that, but you don't want to fall off the wagon. You've been doing so well with your training. You've been so well with your routine, your nutrition, that you don't really want to fall behind with that. You want to keep that routine going, keep that momentum going. But there's a problem. And that problem is your normal workout takes you 60 minutes, 75 minutes, something like that. And you just haven't got the time to fit that in. So what do? Do you skip the gym? Do you say, well, I'll try and squeeze it in another day? It might not be ideal, blah, blah, blah. But actually this workout, it sets you up for the day. So you want to get something in. So maybe you kind of like half-ass something, you chop bits out here and there. You're never quite sure if that's the right thing to do, or if that's actually then an effective workout that you've created for yourself. So what I'm going to talk you through now is a concept called muscle rounds. And this is part of a training approach developed by a guy called Scott Stevenson. Now you can go and check him out. If you go online, go on Instagram, all those various different places, you can find out more about something that he calls fortitude training. And muscle rounds are a little concept from that. So personally, I don't follow the whole fortitude training regime, but I do find this muscle round concept a really good, useful tool in certain situations. So if you want to find out more about fortitude training and how muscle rounds sits within that whole thing, then go out and get and check Scott Stevenson stuff. Recommend you do that. I personally don't use it for a sort of approach to building muscle, but I use it for certain situations like the one we're talking about, where we can cram this workout into 30 minutes and make it absolutely A1 perfect. Now, what is this whole thing all about? Well, muscle rounds really is this, if you want to give it sort of a little bit of a label, because in the fitness industry, we love a good fucking label, don't we? And we love to make something that could be quite simple sound more complicated, sound a little bit sexy. So we're going to call this this is like pump work. It sounds a bit rude, but we're not talking about that sort of pump. Pump work, metabolic work, whatever you want to call it. So when you're looking at trying to build muscle, one of the key foundational things that you're going to do is progressive overload. So whether that is adding more weight to the bar, whether you're doing more reps, more sets, overall training volume is increasing. That's like the traditional way to do it. And that's like the bulk of your progress is going to come from that process. However, there are other bits to the puzzle that you can actually incorporate as well. And one of that parts of those puzzle is metabolic work. So this is more like, when, traditional bros talk about the pump. And if you've ever watched Pumping Iron with Arnie, he talks about the pump, and he talks about the pump being like coming, and he has this whole 90-second speech about how he's coming in the gym, he's coming at home. It's very weird. Plus there is some real 70s soft porn music going in the background. So whoever put that documentary together has a weird brain. But anyway, I digress. So we're talking about this other element of training, which can be beneficial, and you probably want to incorporate it in some way, shape or form into your training. It doesn't necessarily have to be a full workout focused on pump work, but anyway, you can have an element of it. Now, so in terms of these muscle rounds, I wouldn't necessarily use this as an approach to do all the time. So if you are in this situation though, where you have got a short amount of time, you want to cram something in, then this is a great thing to do. I found it, really, really useful. And it's something that I use on a regular basis, not so much with clients, just depends on the situation really. So what is this whole thing all about? So let's break it down for you. Let's break it down. And what we're going to talk about is, first of all, what the basic concept is you're going to take a number of different exercises, say 4 to 5 different exercises. Let's say, for example, you're doing a lower body workout. So you get your 4 to 5 exercises that you have probably in your normal program. So let's say, for example, you're doing some leg presses let's say you're doing some leg extensions, you're doing some leg curls, and then maybe you're doing some sort of hip thrust or something like that, maybe some calf work as well. So you've got like maybe 4 sort of real sort of core exercises that you're doing within a particular workout. And what you want to make sure is that when you're doing these workouts, it's a case of you want something that, as I will explain in a second, is you're probably not going to do something like squats. You're going to do, these are going to be much better, usually in something machine-based because of the way the actual workout works. So you may need to modify some of the exercises you're doing, but effectively you could, broadly speaking, use the same approach or the same workout that you've got and just modify it in this approach. So what we're going to do is take those 4 to 5 exercises and you're going to do 6 sets of each exercise. Now that sounds like a lot. You say, hang on, we're supposed to be reducing the amount of time here. You're doing 6 sets. I only do like 3 or 4. Okay, but here's the thing. The first 5 sets, you're going to do 4 repetitions of that exercise, and you're only going to have 10 seconds rest between each set. So that's quite a number of sets in a very short period of time with a small amount of rest, and go again, small amount of rest, go again. So you're doing the first 5 sets with 4 repetitions, 10 seconds rest. Then in the 6th set, that's still 10 seconds rest between sets 5 and 6, but this time you're going all out. This is as many reps as you can do. This is, this is real kind of measuring your nut sack, or the female equivalent. I think I called it an ovary sack in a previous podcast, but we'll gloss over that. I'm not sure if that's a good term. Anyway, so you're going to go these 5 sets. That's going to be 4 repetitions, 6th set, all you can give on that particular exercise. Now, to judge the weight that you need to do, it would be how much weight can you lift in that exercise for 8 repetitions in a normal set. That's the weight that you select, and you select that weight for all 6 sets. So what you do is you go through this whole process of, effectively, you probably want maybe 1 or 2 warm-up sets, but then you go straight into this process, have a little timer that you can see when you're doing that exercise, and then literally do 1 set, 4 repetitions, stop, look at your timer, or just count in your head 10 seconds, and then go again. And then 4 repetitions, count 10 seconds, go again. And you will find that when you get to set 6, probably when even like set 4, your muscles will be on fire, and you feel like you maybe won't be able to do the other 2 sets, and it should be like increasingly difficult. And what you'll find is it's a fantastic way to blast a workout in a short period of time. Now, if you think about that, you're effectively going to take, roughly speaking, 3 minutes to do that full set. So one exercise is going to take you 3 minutes. If you then said, well, okay, I'm going to have 3 minutes worth of warm up because I'm going to do 2 sets, a little bit of a rest in between, maybe have a 2-minute break or something like that before you do the main set. An exercise in and of itself is going to take you about 6 minutes. From warm up through to the full set, it's going to be about 6 minutes. Now, if you say, okay, I've got 4 to 5 exercises to do, so 5 exercises times 6, I'm good at maths, is 30 minutes. It's almost like I thought about it, wouldn't it? So there you go. You've got your 30-minute workout. Then if you said, well, okay, there's a bit of transition time, setting up different pieces of equipment, things like that, you could maybe say that adds another 5 to 10 minutes. So that's where you've got your like 30 to 40 minutes probably it's going to take you. But you should find it's not like maybe previous workouts you've done where you've got this workout that you normally do that's an hour long or an hour and 15 long. And sometimes when you try and cut that down to a more time condensed workout, you can often feel like a little bit half-assed, like you freaking just didn't get much of a workout. It feels a bit lackluster. You feel a bit shitty, a bit demotivated when you walk out the gym because you feel, I didn't really push myself that hard. Didn't really feel like I was working hard. Didn't feel like my normal workout. Trust me, when you do this, you will feel like you worked fucking hard because you did. So that's the process that I would go through. So for example, I used this today. I went and did a leg session. So mine was lying leg press. I did leg extensions, leg curls, and then I did a V squat. And then I just finished off with some calf work at the end, which was just normal sets of calves at the end. And then I was in and out of that gym in under 40 minutes. Probably my shower took me probably longer because, And yeah, everyone likes a long shower. But anyway, so that would be the concept that I would go through. Yes, I wouldn't use it all the time. Personally, I don't think that you really want to like labor on your progressive overload. You want to look your traditional sort of sets, reps, and trying to add weight and all that sort of stuff. That's great. I would do that. Should be the bulk of your workouts and things like that. If you're particularly trying to build muscle, if you're trying to get leaner, if you're trying to have a more, let's call it quote unquote, everyone hates the term, toned physique. But if you're trying to get that sort of thing, then your normal traditional sort of bodybuilding style workout is going to be better. But that's not to say that you couldn't use this type of approach as a one-off. If you time crunch, you want to cram this workout in, make sure that you've got what you need in that short space of time. Absolutely do this muscle round approach. You could also, if you're maybe a little bit more advanced and you want this to be incorporated in parts of your training, sometimes where I've used it as well is, let's say, for example, I've done 4 exercises with normal traditional bodybuilding style sets and reps and things like that, progressive overload. Then I've added 1 exercise for a specific body part that maybe I really want to train hard at that particular moment in time. And then I've done a muscle round to finish off. So it might be like, if I really want to do if I'm focusing on a push session, but I really want to emphasize chest, I may do my whole push session and then finish with a muscle round on chest. There's a bit of a metabolic pump style workout. And that can work really well. But again, like beginners probably don't need to go and think about that much, because you can get so much progress from pure progressive overload that, adding this in, you could add it in if you enjoy it and it gives you a great feeling. Awesome, go do it. And if you're slightly more advanced and you want that little bit of extra push, that extra level of toughness in your workouts, then absolutely go do that. There's obviously, as I said, as going through it, there's certain exercises that lend itself well to this type of stuff. And there's certain exercises that don't. So for example, like, I don't know, dumbbell bench press wouldn't be a great one, because you're going to do your 4 repetitions and then almost you're going to put the weights down, then you've got to pick them up and all that sort of stuff and get in position. So like that 10-second gap, it doesn't really work. Whereas if you're in a machine, you can just push those reps out for 4 reps. You can then let the machine, just rest, and then you can go again. So again, pick the exercises carefully, pick the exercises right, but this is an awesome way for you to get as much like quality work in a short space of time when you are time crunched and you do need to get a workout in. Cool. So I hope you found that little bit of training useful, that little bit of training insight useful. Let me know if you did find that useful. When you go and do a workout, let me know how it went. If you come and see me on Instagram at iron_paradise_fitness, drop me a DM and say, Simon, I listened to that video, listen to that podcast you did about muscle rounds. It was awesome. Tried it out. Felt amazing. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, come talk to me about all of that. And also, if you want more information on training and you want a free training program and you want a load of information on nutrition, how to calculate calories, how to calculate macros, how to combat cravings, I've put in the notes a link to the Lean Life Kickstarter Pack, which you can download for free and get a load of information from me over the course of 7 days. So feel free to go and pick that up as well. And what I'm also thinking about doing, if you drop some comments in and tell me what you think and send me some messages on Instagram, I'm going to put an article together on my website that's going to go through this whole muscle round process in a bit more detail, plus some maybe training videos, sample workouts, things like that. If that's going to be of use to you and that's of interest, then definitely come drop me a message and tell me what you want, and I will create it, because I am that type of nice guy. So all I want to say is thanks very much for watching this. Thanks very much for listening to this. And I hope you continue to live the lean life, and I'll see you for the next one.